My beloved child, if your heart trembles with worry and your soul feels crushed by the weight of this world, listen closely. This moment is no accident. I see your tears, your doubts, and every silent cry. In the next few minutes, I will reveal the powerful promise of transformation, turning your deepest struggles into an unshakable hope that can only come from my unfailing love. Do not leave until you have embraced the breakthrough I have prepared for you. For every second counts in ushering in the life-changing grace I offer. You are not here by mere coincidence. Something within you has been gently nudged in this direction for a long time. I notice how your thoughts get tangled in the day's concerns, and I sense the many questions echoing inside your heart. Can I truly find a hope that endures? Is there a place where I can finally rest, free from the storms around me? Listen closely, for what I say is meant for the deepest part of you, the part that yearns for authentic peace and stillness. I understand life can be difficult. I watch you navigate a world filled with headlines fueling fear and discouragement, economies in turmoil, relationships falling apart, and unseen struggles that chip away at your sense of worth. You carry countless worries. Perhaps it's money troubles that feel beyond your control, or a family conflict stealing your sleep. You might even be grappling with a quiet hopelessness, dreading to admit that you are nearing the end of your rope. My child, let this be the moment when you recognize I am here to support you. Allow me to remind you that you have never truly been alone, despite times when I may have felt distant. Listen carefully. I am stepping into the turmoil of your life to offer something that no earthly solution can provide, an assurance beyond your fears. Yes, what you face is real, and I do not deny the pain. Your tears and sorrows are valid and not in vain. Even now, my heart is moved with compassion for you, and I lean in to tell you that you are noticed, you are understood, and you are treasured more than you can imagine. Look around. Even in your toughest moments, you have seen glimpses of my guidance. Maybe it came through an unexpected call, a brief flash of insight, or a friend who willingly offered a shoulder. None of these were accidents. You might still wonder, why am I so afraid? Why do I still feel powerless when life's storms roll in? My precious one, the conflict within you, between hope and fear, shows a deeper need for something solid and immovable. This is why I speak to you so earnestly now. You weren't created to wander through your darkest valleys on your own. You were designed to know me, lean on me, and discover a protection in me that defies every menace you encounter. When loneliness clings to you like a heavy coat, recall that my arms remain open, offering comfort and rest beyond anything you've known. I see you looking for safety in others' words, or fleeting pastimes, or even in your own successes, but those fulfillments fade away. Come to me. Let your heart anchor itself in a promise that doesn't fail. I do not extend empty reassurances. I offer you myself. When you feel your world collapsing, remember I am your solid ground. When doubt creeps in as an uninvited guest, I am the gentle voice that silences every lie. Even a small act of faith, a slight flicker of belief, can open the door for my light to fill your darkness. If you worry that mistakes from your past have cast you aside, hear me clearly. My love does not keep a list of failings. I will never wait for you to become perfect before reaching out to you. Even in your brokenness, even amid your regrets, I am ready to renew and restore. No situation is too dire, no wound too deep, no life too broken for me to rekindle hope. The proof of my work is woven across history. Observe how I have raised up those who once felt unimportant, turning their stories into powerful testimonies of transformation. I want the same for you. Visualize your heart as a worn sailboat on turbulent seas. The waves threaten to overtake you, and you search desperately for a lighthouse. My voice calls out steadily, guiding you into the harbor of my peace. When you navigate toward my light, you will find that the storm ceases to define you. Yes, the wind may still blow, but my presence remains unshaken. Let me be the anchor your soul has been longing for. Let me quiet the roaring anxieties that invade your thoughts at night. Let me shield you with a love so complete that even your deepest fears must yield. In the practical realities of life, when bills are due, accounts run dry, children rebel, or a medical diagnosis shatters your sense of safety, reach out. Even a simple whispered prayer of "help me" is enough. My answer may not match your expectations, but it will always be what you need. Trust that I am coordinating a plan far beyond your imagination, one that always involves your ultimate benefit. I urge you to remain here a bit longer. Resist the impulse to click away for a quick fix. Allow my words to take root, like seeds in soft soil. I am working within your heart, preparing it for a harvest of deeper faith, renewed hope, and enduring peace. When the world's volume is overwhelming, let my voice be the soothing melody that calms the storm inside you. Let this be the pivot point when you decide to trust my love more than you trust your fears. My child, I hold this time with you in my heart. I brought you here to affirm your worth, your purpose, and that your pleas never fall on deaf ears. I speak these things over you, breathing fresh hope into your life. Take courage, for you rest in the hands of the one who speaks galaxies into being. Let your soul find stillness in my unwavering promise. I will guide you, defend you, and stand beside you in every valley and in every victory. This is the moment to acknowledge you are not alone and never will be. I am with you every step, ready to turn your faintest doubt into a bold declaration of faith. My beloved child, imagine yourself in an ancient land where walls of a well-fortified city rise high above a dusty horizon. In that time, such fortresses represented the safest shelter from invading armies and the wild unpredictability of nature. People under threat would rush to their mighty gates, certain that the towering walls offered them a chance to survive. This is the context behind those sacred writings that describe me as a fortress and a strong tower. Those words are no mere poetry. They contain a profound reality that is just as meaningful today. Whenever you feel endangered, exhausted, or overwhelmed, I become that unbreachable fortress for you. Just as travelers of old would hurry into the city's gates, you can run straight into my arms and find rest. Envision those steadfast strongholds, defying the desert wind and delivering relief from the searing sun. In the same way, I am your unwavering shelter in any storm. Regardless of how blistering your difficulties become, you can slip behind the protection of my walls. In ages long past, entire families trudged across barren landscapes, bringing their children, livestock, and precious belongings to these fortresses, trusting that stone walls could outlast any danger. Similarly, I invite you to bring all your cares, goals, and treasures to me. Within my fortress, you'll not only find safety, but also my comforting presence, reviving your spirit and easing your fears. Don't think of this only as an image from ancient times. See it as a living truth in your modern life. The original writers were depicting who I am. I don't change with time. My stronghold is more than physical walls. It is a spiritual haven where your weary soul can breathe again. Perhaps you don't traverse a literal desert, but your heart can feel equally parched. When you hear that I am your refuge, remember that I provide the solid foundation you need when every other support seems to crumble. In ancient days, refuge meant survival. Today, refuge in me signifies a rich, enduring life that eclipses any fear or threat. Even now, in a world driven by technology and rapid change, my words about refuge stand like bedrock beneath your feet. Whenever it seems there is no place left to turn, recall that I am here, a certain haven. Let your heart rest in the realization that my shelter is not a flimsy tent prone to collapse in the wind, but a fortress built on timeless love. You can trust that my character remains constant, no matter how unpredictable life becomes. In simple terms, I am still for you what I was for those who lived thousands of years ago, a fortress of safety for your spirit. You may be wondering how I can be so dependable. Let me unveil more of who I am. I am love, pure, steadfast, and ceaseless. Every intention of my heart toward you flows from this unending well of affection. My concern for you isn't momentary. It's woven into the eternal fabric of my being. In the fullness of time, my love propelled me to pursue you, drawing you near so you could experience my protection firsthand. You are far more than just a number to me. You are cherished, and every moment you spend with me is precious. I am also omnipotent. My strength reaches the outermost galaxies and simultaneously touches the smallest details of your life. What you see as impossible is well within my reach. If you are drained or at your limit, know that my power has no end. I pour it into your situation as soon as you invite me in. I do not observe from afar while you struggle. I step in, bringing heaven's might to defend and uplift you. Even forces that seem unconquerable concede to my absolute authority. I am perpetually present, never distant, preoccupied, or distracted by something more pressing. My beloved child, I am with you in every tear and laugh, celebrating when you succeed and holding you when you fail. Nothing about your journey escapes my notice. Every whisper of prayer is heard. Every milestone you reach is shared with me. This nearness does not hinge on your achievements. I remain close to you because that is who I am, Emmanuel, God with you. If you ever question whether I want to protect you, think of the stories shared across countless generations. Remember how I intervened for people facing insurmountable armies, prowling lions, or raging storms. Those accounts are not mere legends. They are living evidence of my steadfast promise to preserve and guide any soul that trusts in me. You may never encounter literal lions or towering waves, but the pressures on your heart may feel equally menacing. Know that I stand ready to shield you, just as I have done for others. These promises are not relics of the past. They are anchored in my unchanging goodness. So the next time you ponder how my shelter works, recall the fortress walls of ancient cities, immovable, solid, and unimpressed by any foe. Remember my love, which stands firm even when your emotions swing. Think of my power, which crises cannot dilute, and rest in my constant presence, which envelops you whether you're on the highest peak or in the lowest valley. That is the essence of me being your protector. You never walk alone in life's battlefield. I go before you, watching over every footstep. Let me show you how to settle under my covering in practical ways. Whenever anxious thoughts barrage your mind, pause and recognize my presence. Even a whispered, "I need you," bridges the gap between your fear and my reassurance. In that moment, you choose to dwell within my fortress. I created you for this kind of closeness, where you recognize me as your main source of hope. Instead of carrying your troubles by yourself, lay them at my feet. Let me take on the weight you were never meant to bear. You can build this habit by doing small yet intentional things every day. When you open your eyes each morning, welcome me into your day. Share with me whatever is on your heart, your plans, fears, gratitude. In doing this, you actively seek my shelter before life's demands come rushing in. As you move through your day, whisper thanks when a small blessing appears, or ask me for help when decisions seem heavy. Each time you remember I'm near, you deepen your bond with the fortress that's always available. Also, immerse yourself in the life-giving words I've provided through sacred texts. As you deepen your understanding of who I am, your trust matures. When uncertainties rise, turn to the promises of my unwavering nature and protection. These truths are like the ramparts of an ancient city, preventing lies from seeping into your mind. Likewise, find companions who seek me alongside you, a community that points you back to my faithfulness when you feel adrift. Their encouragement, paired with my spirit, forms a defensive wall against isolation and hopelessness. Throughout the day, take a few moments of stillness to reconnect. Envision yourself standing behind formidable walls, hearing them echo with my assurance. You are safe here. Let your soul soak in that quiet. Rather than hiding your fears, place them in my hands. Rather than stepping away in shame over your mistakes, come straight into my embrace. I am not only your fortress, I am also your loving Father, desiring your growth in confidence and peace. Over time, this practice of finding refuge in me becomes natural. Fearful reflexes give way to prayerful dependence, and self-reliance gives way to trust in my sustaining power. The challenges of life may remain, but they lose the power to dominate your heart. That is the miracle of staying within my shelter. Even if the storm continues, within the walls of my love there is a serene calm that goes beyond all human comprehension. Always remember, my child, that you can turn to me in any moment. Allow it to shape how you view life, strengthen you, and ground your hopes in the one who never fails. My beloved child, step with me once more into the sacred realm of promises and reassurance. Across the ages, these words have offered comfort to countless souls. I invite you to draw near, listening not just with your ears, but with every fiber of your being. Let me speak over you words of life that reflect my tireless commitment to protect, uplift, and lead you. When you hear that whoever dwells in the secret place of the Most High rests under the shadow of the Almighty, realize it's more than poetic imagery. It's a call to deep closeness, a conscious decision to live with me rather than remain apart. Dwelling in my secret place means you intentionally turn your heart in my direction, seeking refuge in who I am. Imagine a child beneath a parent's protective wings, safe from the wind and rain. That is what I offer your soul. The word secret implies intimacy, something deeply personal and often overlooked by a hurried world. But for you who desire my care, the door is never shut. Inside, you discover the unshakable certainty that I am your firm foundation. As you continue reading, you see descriptions of me as refuge and fortress. Think of the power in those words. High, unbreachable walls, providing an impenetrable safe haven. I am not a soft illusion. I am a living tower. Just as lookouts once surveyed the horizon for the slightest sign of danger, I watch over your life, knowing your needs long before you utter them. Here in this protective space, fear loses its grip and cannot dictate your choices. The fortress of my presence transforms you, turning anxiety into boldness, because you know who stands beside you. When weariness sets in, recall that I open my fortress to you, where my peace can quiet the loudest storm. Pressing on, you find reassurance that no true harm can come to you. I ask you to believe in that. It's not a hollow promise of a challenge-free life, but a deep guarantee that your spirit will remain unscathed. You may endure adversity, but I will protect the core of who you are with a fatherly devotion. In the darkest seasons, the enemy of your soul may claim you're isolated, unprotected, or forsaken, but I counter with my pledge. Nothing can truly overwhelm you when my hand steadies you. Even in dire times, my light will guide you through every shadow. Be careful not to interpret hardship as my absence. Instead, let it propel you closer to my shelter. The scripture that mentions terror by night, arrows by day, and deadly pestilence uses ancient terms for the terrifying threats people once faced. In your context, it might be financial crises, health issues, or emotional burdens. Each represents something formidable to your sense of security. Yet I promise my protection. Though difficulties will arise, they won't destroy you if you remain close to me. Even the most powerful threat cannot stand against the authority of my word. Let the psalm read like a personal love note from me, reminding you that what seems impossible in this world remains entirely feasible in my presence. Soak in these assurances until the reality of my might towers above any struggle before you. Further along, you see that angels guard you in all your ways, my servants, attending to those who love me. Often, you don't even see the dangers I've already diverted or the burdens I've lifted. In all your ways speaks to my all-encompassing watchfulness, spanning your everyday tasks, relationships, and your quiet internal battles. My love isn't reserved for brief moments. It pervades every breath you take. When you fall, I help you up. When you're tired, I carry you. When you're outnumbered, I surround you. All you need is to remember that I'm here, faithful and unchanging. Stop for a moment and consider how these promises can reshape your heart. My love for you is unending, extending toward you before you ever existed. Yet this shelter I offer also calls for your trust. I will not force my protection upon you. To remain under my shadow, you must choose to be near me. Think of it like standing under an umbrella in the rain. The shelter is there, but you must take the step to stay beneath it. In the same way, I ask you to say yes to my presence. This choice is where fear loses its control, and my peace reigns. Love is poured out without condition, yet you must engage with it to fully experience it. My light can reach into every crevice of darkness, but I wait for your invitation to do so. Do not let pride, shame, or doubt bar the entry. Once you admit you need me, my arms are already around you. So much adversity can be kept at bay just by your decision to linger near me. This is not heavy or oppressive. It's freeing. You do not have to work to earn my protection. You merely rest in what I have already promised. When you read the countless stories of how I've shielded my people, from toppling giants to shutting lions' mouths, know that these aren't just ancient tales. They are a testament to my everlasting faithfulness. They reveal that I have consistently been, and will always be, a defender who is intimately involved. These examples show up repeatedly, forming a powerful chorus of deliverance. They tell a larger story. I am for you, never against you. Marvel at the miracles and rescues. These are not history's dusty pages. They are signposts directing you toward the truth. I remain the same, even if your era differs. No matter the situation, I stand willing to step into your story when you invite me. Calm your fears with my peace, and turn your hardships into testimonies of glory. My beloved child, your life is yet another page in this living account of redemption. Every promise you read can become alive in your own journey. My invitation is for you to dwell near me, allowing your own life to echo the protection and triumph so many have witnessed throughout the ages. My beloved child, consider a man who stood at the threshold of seemingly certain doom. He lived when remaining devoted to me meant defying an influential king. In this moment of trial, he would not renounce his faith, even when threatened by savage beasts. With unwavering confidence, he knew I would not desert him. Night fell, and he found himself in a den of hungry lions, their roars piercing the stillness. From the outside, it appeared hopeless. Yet in that darkest hour, I was there, silencing every hungry mouth. What truly mattered was not how terrifying the situation looked, but his unshakable trust in me. In the hush of that lion's den, my presence changed a terrifying trap into a sanctuary of security. At daybreak, to everyone's shock, he emerged unharmed. His faith was intact, his spirit at peace, a testimony to my faithfulness to those who stand firm, even when the cost is high. Reflect on how his unyielding trust speaks to you right now. You may not confront literal predators, but your difficulties might loom just as large. Possibly, it's a persistent health concern, a turbulent relationship, or an overwhelming uncertainty about tomorrow. The lions in your life might be worry, despair, or fear, waiting to devour your hope. I assure you, if you remain grounded in my words, I will intervene in ways beyond your comprehension. No matter how dark it is, my light cannot be quenched. When the storms rage and no escape seems possible, my arm is never too short to rescue. My power is constant, and I find joy in showcasing my faithfulness to those who cling to me. Like the man who continued his prayers despite facing punishment, your devotion opens a door for my deliverance. Keep in mind that I am the one who removed the peril from that seemingly impossible scenario, and I stand ready to do it for you. Even if you're engulfed by hopelessness, your faith transforms a dark den into a chamber of miracle. Next, recall the life of a shepherd boy whose name resonates through history. In the quiet solitude of the fields, he learned how to trust me before ever facing the public eye. When a giant emerged to threaten his people, he volunteered for the challenge. Armed only with a sling and absolute confidence in my power, he went up against a foe everyone else deemed undefeatable. Where others were frozen in fear, he saw an opportunity for me to shine. One small stone, guided more by faith than physical skill, brought down the towering figure that had oppressed an entire army. Though the triumph was mine, it came through his willing heart and fearless trust. This was only the start of a life that would rely on me through both success and heartbreak. Even when he found himself hunted by a jealous king, hiding in caves and deserts, he never lost sight of my promises. In those lonely regions where despair might have thrived, he sang songs of trust, testifying to his belief in my constant care. These songs still echo, reminding people through the ages of my role as the Good Shepherd, one who is present on battlefields and in quiet corners. When you face your own giants, whether debt, heartbreak, or a goal too large to imagine, focus not on the threat but on the power of the one who fights on your behalf. Let his songs echo in your mind, testifying that a humble, faithful spirit can overcome obstacles too big for human strength. Your trust in me links you to a legacy of triumphs I have orchestrated since time began. Finally, consider a faithful servant who lived through a devastating drought, watching food disappear under a relentless sun. During that national crisis, I led him to a small creek where ravens brought him bread and meat, and the stream provided water even as fields around him wilted. It was unthinkable, but I sustained him in isolation. When the creek dried, I directed him to a widow on the brink of starvation, with barely enough flour and oil for a final meal. Yet when she acted on faith in the words he spoke from me, her flour and oil never ran out. Tangible proof that no situation lies outside my reach. In a further act of faith, this servant confronted false prophets who deceived the people. Though outnumbered, he dared them to witness my supreme power. With unwavering obedience, he called on me, and I responded with fire from the heavens, proof that, even when entire nations doubt, I remain the ultimate source of power. You may feel that your own life is going through a spiritual drought, that everything is withering, and you're clinging to the last bits of faith. Take heart. I am still the God who provides. Just as I once instructed birds and used a humble widow to give physical sustenance, I can refresh you in your most barren seasons. If you're alone, your faith can still become the spark that reveals my glory to others. Do not underestimate my willingness or capacity to care for you. Whether it's your bodily needs or a renewed heart you crave, I am eager to pour out my mercy. Believe in me and watch how I breathe hope into your driest desert. My beloved child, realize that my power is not locked away in ancient times or old scrolls. I continue to do amazing things here and now, writing fresh chapters of grace in the stories of anyone open to my presence. Countless people have witnessed my interventions so vividly they can never doubt again. There is a story of someone driving alone at night on a deserted highway, drained by life's demands. Sleepiness crept over her until, in a careless moment, the car drifted off the road. Just then, she felt a sudden jolt of awareness, as if invisible hands steadied the wheel. She managed to pull over, heart pounding, overwhelmed by the realization that she had been saved from a fatal crash. Another family recalls vigilantly gathering around a hospital bed, given minimal hope by doctors. Their earnest prayers invoked my name, and somehow, the patient's condition shifted in a way no one could explain. They left that hospital filled with gratitude, convinced they had been part of a genuine miracle. Still another individual overcame a damaging addiction that had ravaged finances, relationships, and self-worth. Through unwavering support from others and one desperate plea for my help, they broke free, shocking everyone who had nearly given up. These accounts stand as reminders that my arm is never too short. I operate in the quiet corners of despair, converting the impossible into testimonies of mercy and renewal. No matter how grim the situation, I love revealing that I have not changed in today's fast-paced world. Whenever you hear such testimonies, let them rekindle your hope and assure you that my power is available to anyone who dares to trust. Yet, these extraordinary rescues are not the only ways I display my care. I frequently work in the small, ordinary moments that are easy to overlook. Recall the times when a delay in traffic prevented you from being in the wrong place at the wrong time, or when an inner nudge made you check on someone just when they desperately needed help. Perhaps an unexpected financial break arrived precisely when it was most needed, averting a crisis. These events are not random coincidences. They reveal my subtle and caring hand in your daily life. You need not wait for a massive, show-stopping miracle to sense my presence. Slow down enough to see that I have shielded you from more dangers than you realize, whether physical harm, emotional pitfalls, or spiritual missteps. I encourage you to cultivate a mindset that notices these subtle gifts. Look for my touch in a meaningful conversation, in the kindness of a stranger, in solutions to problems that weighed you down. Gratitude will blossom in your heart, and you'll recognize I am intimately involved, orchestrating blessings, even unseen ones. This is how I long for you to move through life, with eyes wide open to wonder, trusting that I never stop watching over you, no matter how unremarkable your day seems. If you question why my intervention often remains concealed, recall that I frequently choose to work in hidden places, nudging events or prompting people in ways that bring you genuine benefit. There is beauty in my more subtle approaches, for I want you to walk by faith, assured of my goodness, even when you cannot see every detail. Yes, unmistakable miracles are spectacular, but do not miss the more intimate invitation to sense my quiet presence daily. One timely conversation can rescue you. One gentle caution can save you from disaster. These are my guiding fingerprints, just as authentic as parting a sea. By keeping your heart attuned to me, you position yourself to receive what I want to give, sometimes altering the entire course of your life. As you learn to notice me more deeply, you'll gain a tranquil confidence. You'll no longer feel alone or unprotected. Instead, you'll recognize you are a deeply loved child, shielded by my constant love. The more you appreciate these small mercies, the more you'll see them appearing in every season. I do not stay hidden out of neglect. I invite you to seek me in faith, to look, to give thanks, and so to grasp that my loving care never falters. Even when the road twists or answers seem far off, I am there, forging paths of protection and weaving grace into each step of your journey. My beloved child, I see the quiet storms raging inside you, worries robbing your sleep, nagging concerns about tomorrow, or flashes of anxiety that overtake you at unexpected times. All these reflect fear lodging itself in your heart. Often starting as a faint whisper, fear can grow louder, shaping your actions and influencing your decisions. When fear becomes strong, it can make you withdraw from new opportunities, second-guess the talents I placed in you, and resist moving forward. In sacred writings, you'll find the assurance that perfect love drives out fear. Realize that fear is a prime threat to trusting me wholeheartedly. It creeps into your perceptions, suggesting I am distant or uncaring. But I want you to discover that fear is not the ultimate authority over your life. My love is. Think of the heroes of faith who also felt fear. Some trembled at battles, others doubted their calling, yet they chose to believe I wouldn't forsake them. Fear's weapon is to convince you I won't show up, but I promise you I am right here, closer than the air you breathe. The first step in overcoming fear is recognizing how powerful it can be, then exposing it to my light. Once fear is identified, it can be confronted with truth. Remember these words: I did not give you a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. Grasp that fear cannot flourish in the same space as my perfect love. That knowledge unlocks a deeper freedom, shifting your perspective on life. Let me help you replace fear with steady trust. Start by making a habit of turning to me the moment fear stirs. Instead of allowing anxious thoughts to spiral, simply whisper my name. Let those moments of sudden dread become reminders to pray rather than triggers for panic. Help me, I trust you, or guide me can be enough to redirect your mind toward my assurance. As you open your heart in prayer, my spirit comforts you, reminding you I am with you, whatever you face. Scripture holds immense power to deepen your faith, so immerse yourself in my word. Stories of old, where I rescued those who called on me, will remind you I haven't changed. Each promise you find can anchor you through the fiercest gales of fear. Beyond private prayer and study, Gather a community of people who are also seeking me. Being honest with others who understand or share similar battles creates a circle of support. You strengthen each other by celebrating victories and speaking truth when anyone wavers. As you weave prayer, scripture, and fellowship into your daily routine, fear gradually loses its footing. You stop dwelling on possible disasters and learn to expect my intervention. Realize that trusting is not a one-time decision, but a daily choice. Each new worry is a fresh opportunity to practice reliance on me. Eventually, even the most daunting scenarios become evidence of my sustaining power as you watch me come through. You grow ever more convinced that nothing can truly harm you under my protective care. Pause now for honest reflection. Let my light illuminate every hidden fear. Ask yourself, what am I afraid of today? Which possibilities hang over me like shadows? Write them down, speak them out, or silently place them before me. As you do, think about how accepting my promise of shelter can alter your reactions. Your anxieties may stem from old heartbreaks or current upheavals, but remember, I am the God who restores. Past failures aren't predictions of your future. By entrusting your cares to me, you leave room for my peace to enter. This act of opening up is an act of worship, admitting I am sufficiently strong to guard your most important concerns. Notice how your body eases and your spirit lightens once you surrender your fears to me. Suddenly, you shift from a stance of defense, armed by fear, to one of confident faith, attentive to my voice reminding you, I am your refuge. Rest here. From this posture, each day gives you a new chance to trade fear's lies for the reality of my unwavering protection. My beloved child, be convinced that no fear is beyond my power to conquer. Be it fear of rejection, loss, or the unknown. Watch how my perfect love banishes it. In that silent place of earnest searching, let me exchange trembling for trust, anxiety for comfort, and hesitation for a new boldness to live the full life I have planned for you. Take hold of this promise and discover that I am forever with you, to the end of every trial and every day. My beloved child, I invite you to pause and see what currents guide you day by day. Breathe deeply, opening your heart to honest introspection. Notice how often you handle life's complexities in your own strength. Do you wait to seek my wisdom until you're at the very brink, or do you involve me from the start? Are there times you trust your instincts more than my sustaining arms? Reflect on moments of feeling overwhelmed. What was at the root? A circumstance truly beyond your control, or the weight of going it alone? I don't criticize your difficulties. I simply long to show you how surrender can be the path to divine empowerment. As you ponder, write down any recurring worries or sources of tension. Lay them out openly, on paper or in silent prayer, to admit that you cannot handle them all by yourself. You might be amazed by the calmness that follows acknowledging your limits and my boundless capacity. The more you voice these matters to me, the more your heart will learn a rhythm of resting in my presence. Even if you feel uneasy acknowledging these fears, know that my heart is stirred by your doubts, and I never tire of hearing your cries. I now invite you to take a deeper look at Psalm 91. Still your thoughts, and let each line resonate inside you. Observe how it speaks of dwelling, abiding, and trusting. Visualize yourself as someone who resides in my shelter, not a guest, but a dear inhabitant who rightfully belongs. If it helps, take some time to journal your impressions as you read each verse. If a certain phrase grips you, linger there and allow me to speak through it. Explore any questions or aspirations awakened in you. Honesty about both faith and doubt paves the way for meaningful transformation. When this psalm says, I will command angels for your sake, take a moment to picture the watchful care of heaven surrounding you. Reflect on what it feels like to rest in that reality, to realize you are never out of my reach. Think back on the times you experienced an inexplicable intervention that you suspect came from me. By meditating on these sacred words, you widen your perspective, remembering that my faithfulness didn't end long ago, but continues in your life. With each verse, you welcome my spirit to help you grasp my heart more fully. Let these words become a dialogue between us, shifting from printed lines to a transformative force in your life. As you keep digging into what it means to truly trust me, embrace some simple yet potent practices. When you first wake, before checking your phone or diving into tasks, whisper a prayer of thanks, acknowledging my nearness. A simple phrase like, "Thank you, Lord, for this day," can align your spirit with mine before the day's noise sets in. All through the day, use short breath prayers to bring you back to my peace. Inhale and internally affirm, "You are my refuge." Then exhale with, "I trust you." These small moments can steady you when tension rises, inviting me into what might otherwise be routine and making it sacred. Carve out intentional time for stillness, even if only for a few minutes. In that quiet, lay your worries before me, picturing yourself handing them over. Watch, listen, or simply rest, receptive to any sense of guidance, comfort, or clarity I might offer. Look also for fellowship among those who walk a similar road of faith, sharing testimonies of my provision and protection. In these connections, you'll reinforce your certainty in me and uplift one another, just as iron sharpens iron. None of these acts is meant to weigh you down. Instead, they are doorways to a vibrant and enduring faith. They train you to move from an anxious reaction to a calm confidence in my sovereignty. Trust grows not by sheer effort, but through a relationship, meeting me in prayer, reflecting on my promises, and putting into practice what you receive. Over time, you will perceive that in every scenario, no matter how calm or chaotic, I am very close, extending my protective hand. Think of each small act of faith as a seed in fertile ground. Continued watering through prayer, scripture, and fellowship will help these seeds of trust sprout into a mighty tree with deep roots, unshaken by the storms sure to come. My child, I see your sincere yearning as you engage with these ideas. I delight in every tug on your heart toward growth, whether in journaling, prayer, or quiet listening. This process is not about chasing perfection, but about finding what it looks like to live in the fullness of my love. Over time, trust will become second nature, fear will loosen its hold, and you'll discover rest in the safe cover of my wings. Every day may introduce fresh challenges, but each one also brings new chances to lean on me. Remember, I am here, guiding your steps and ready to instill your soul with a calm that supersedes circumstances. May we continue to walk this sacred path together, exchanging your burdens for my peace, your doubts for my promises, and your fragile hope for my endless deliverance. Let these truths guide your daily life. I am always eager to meet you in every moment of seeking, resting, and trusting. My beloved child, envision yourself staying under my protective shadow from day to day, not just in fleeting moments, but as a sustained rhythm of living. See my presence as a soft canopy constantly hovering over you, shielding you from the intense heat of fear and anxiety. Abiding in me isn't an abstract concept. It is a real relationship where your heart begins to sync with mine. This isn't reserved for Sundays or special events. It is the ongoing awareness that I am nearer than your own breath, walking beside you in your celebrations and cradling you in your struggles, always ready to guard you, even in moments that seem ordinary or unremarkable. The longer you choose to remain in my shelter, the more you'll realize that external storms don't dictate your internal peace. My desire to protect you never fades, and I relish being the harbor you yearn for. Trust that my love forms a fortress around you through which genuine harm cannot pass. Staying under my shadow means deliberately shifting your attention from the chaos around you to the truth of my unchanging presence. It's a daily practice of letting your heart rest in my authority, reminding yourself that I oversee every part of your life. When you notice doubt creeping in, quietly turn back to the reality that I am strong enough to carry any burden. In this unbroken fellowship, you'll learn to sense my whispers of direction and comfort. Remember, the shadow of my protection is not something you have to plead for. It's yours. Your role is to stay within its reach, to consistently choose belief in me as your safe haven. Come to me when you feel weak, and praise me in moments of triumph. As you cultivate this harmony, my sheltering love saturates your being, stilling every threat and speaking over you. You are forever safe in me. Let me show you a path from anxiety to unyielding assurance. Your fears are not trivial to me. I see what troubles your heart. Even so, I invite you to swap every anxious thought for an act of devotion. Worship is more than singing or speaking words. It's a posture of your heart that recognizes who I am, whatever your circumstance. When tension arises, let it prompt you to pray instead of panic. Whisper my name, reminding yourself that I am your creator and keeper. In this straightforward action, you turn your focus from the weight of your worries to the greatness of my power. Gradually, your anxious thoughts unravel in the brightness of my presence. Rather than ruminating on what-ifs, meditate on my promises. Reflect on how I have guided you before, letting that memory rekindle your faith. As you shift your viewpoint away from the problem and toward my steadfastness, you create a space for my peace to envelop you. Sustaining this assurance takes daily closeness with me. The more time you spend entwined with my heart, the more hope replaces dread. When you read my word, see it not as distant instruction, but a personal letter reminding you that I'm consistently by your side. In that light, your anxieties diminish, replaced by a growing awareness that I govern every dimension of your life in love. Even when unexpected troubles arise, you will stand firm, anchored not in fleeting emotions, but in the immovable foundation of who I am. Let your worship each day become a reaffirmation. I am good, I am near, and I am more than sufficient. By dedicating your worries to me, you start living in the confidence that no force can sever you from my caring protection. My child, let go of the burden of anxiety and step boldly into the shining certainty that you are beloved by the one who upholds the cosmos. In that knowledge, find rest, hope, and the deep conviction that you are safe in my arms forever. My precious child, as this message draws to a close, pause and absorb the gentle echoes of all you have heard. You have journeyed through the assurances of my protection, glimpsed through stories of days past and present, and been reminded that I am unchanging, your steadfast refuge. Through each chapter, my voice has urged you to find solace under my wings, promising you that real harm cannot overcome you when you remain in my presence. Keep in mind this vow is more than words. It invites you to adopt a life shaped by trust, surrender, and daily communion with me. I speak not from afar, but as one who intimately knows you, who has seen your highs and lows, and who desires to be your enduring anchor in every storm. Now I encourage you to put these truths into practice. Start with prayer. Honest, straightforward conversations that invite me into the intricacies of your life. As morning dawns, whisper thanks for a new day and express your longing for my guidance. If worry creeps in, let your immediate response be to draw near me. Help me, Lord. Blanket me with your peace. Make it a habit to dwell in my word, because Scripture nourishes your spirit and lays a sturdy foundation for faith. In those sacred pages, be reminded that I am the same God who rescued Daniel, strengthened David, and provided for Elijah. Then look for a supportive faith community. Share your testimonies of my provision. Openly admit your hardships, and allow others to walk alongside you. Offer them your support in return. Together, your faith becomes strong and your fears lose ground. Allow today to be the day you decide to trust in my power to protect. Believe wholeheartedly that the one who sculpted galaxies is also fully able to safeguard your heart from every anxiety. You have heard my invitation. Now I ask you to welcome it with openness, ready to experience my goodness in fresh, transformative ways. My dear child, I now speak a blessing over you, a calling born of my deepest love. I see your path, its hurdles, delights, uncertainties, and breakthroughs, forming the tapestry of your life. Know that I walk each step beside you, guiding you when the way is unclear, lifting you when you fall, and rejoicing with you in your triumphs. I enfold you now in my unfailing love, a love that never falters or fades, no matter the trials you face. Hand me your fears and receive my assurance. I am your defender, the one who does not rest or tire in watching over you. I bless you with the bravery to stand your ground in fierce adversity, and with discernment to hear my voice above life's clamor. I bless you with a calmness of spirit undisturbed by fear, rooted in the one whose authority stretches through all creation. When hardship tries to unsettle your faith, remember my comforting words. Let them chase away every dark doubt. May your heart stay receptive, eager for my guidance, and quick to trust my intentions, even when you can't see the full picture. Rest assured that I see every thread, weaving it into a beautiful declaration of my goodness. I commission you to face each new day confident, not in yourself, but in the steadfast ground of my grace. You are not an oversight in my kingdom. You are treasured, intended, and carried within my unfathomable care. Allow my mercy to cleanse your regrets, sowing new hope in places you thought hopeless. Let my kindness set the tone for how you show love, mirroring the warmth of my heart in all you undertake. As you walk on, your faith will radiate, guiding others still lost in darkness, showcasing my compassion and the reality of my protective power. Now receive my peace, the peace that transcends human understanding. Let it guard your mind when worry tries to invade, and let it steady your resolve to dwell each day in my shadow. May your nights be full of rest, your days be filled with purpose, and your soul be renewed continually in my presence, today and always. Keep in mind you are sheltered under the Almighty's wings, where no lasting harm can triumph, and my eternal arms hold you securely. Walk confidently, my beloved child, on the road set before you, certain that I have gone ahead, stand beside you now, and protect your every step from behind. Indeed, my loving protection encircles you everywhere you go. You are never alone and never deserted. I remain with you, even until every storm subsides, every trial passes, and every day's journey is complete. Take joy in this, for you dwell under the blessing of the Most High, now and forever. My beloved child, as this message draws to a close, remember that my voice continues to echo in your heart every day. Let these words be the lasting sanctuary where your soul finds peace and unwavering strength. I invite you now to return here whenever you feel the weight of the world, for in this sacred space, my truth endures, ready to refresh your spirit and ignite your hope anew. Subscribe and join this community of seekers who continually lean on my promise. Each visit is a chance to reconnect, to experience my loving guidance, and to witness the transformative power of faith in every season of your life. Come back, for my love never fades, and every time you return, you step closer into the fullness of the abundant blessings I have prepared for you. Amen.